Ford Chevy Cold War has gone hot. You've seen the headlines surrounding the drama between these two American powerhouses duking it out with their flagship supercar killers. There's been tons of money spent on this, lots of secrecy, and even social media callouts from CEOs. These C-suite guys are vicious. And strangely enough, just how the real Cold War would have gone hot, it's all going down in a German forest. Hey, f*** you, man. No, f*** you, man. That's all I got. Today, we're gonna break down everything that led to these two rivals going head to head, explore how far they might take things, and see what it means for the future of American performance. This is a Donut News Special Report. I'm Nolan Sykes. This all started in August of 2024 when Ford brought their new Mustang GTD to the Nürburgring in Germany. The GTD was first teased back in 2023. I know, it's been a long time, and it's been hyped up as America's flagship supercar. And if you're rolling your eyes at the idea of a Mustang being at the top of the American car food chain, consider this. The GTD has more in common with the Mustang GT3 and GT4 race cars than it does with your stepdad's EcoBoost Mustang. That's because it was co-developed with the race cars. Under the hood, the GTD has a 5.2-liter supercharged V8 making 815 horsepower and has a top speed of 202 miles per hour. It also has inboard suspension, tons of carbon fiber, a rear-mounted transaxle, and even pieces of titanium from a retired F-22 Raptor fighter jet. I will say the Mustang probably has more confirmed kills. But the biggest trick up the Mustang's sleeve is the aero. At 180 miles per hour, the Mustang is generating 2,000 pounds of downforce. That's like driving with a smart car on the roof. To top it all off, that big old wing and a few hidden aerodynamic flaps underneath the car are constantly adjusting thanks to the GTD's drag reduction system. It's the same idea as the DRS system they use in Formula One. But where F1 cars use DRS to reduce drag on long straights, the GTD's DRS system can maximize grip, acceleration, or top speed, whatever the driver needs. All of this makes the GTD the fastest Mustang ever built, and the most advanced road car to ever roll out of a Ford factory. And Ford is doing all it can to make it the most exclusive car it's ever made as well. The GTD costs nearly $328,000. That's a lot of clams. And Ford is making buyers sign an agreement, just like your mom did with your stepdad, forbidding them from selling the car for 2 years to prevent speculative buying and selling. So forget drag racing Camaros, forget the Z06 even. Ford has a lot more in mind for this Mustang. They wanted to take the crown as the best and fastest American car money could buy. And they wanted to take down the best cars Europe had to offer while they were at it. To do that, there's only one place to prove you've got what it takes to be a contender. It is perhaps the most challenging, dangerous, and legendary racetrack of all time. You know what I'm talking about. It's the Nürburgring. But wait, why the Nürburgring? Before we get to that, you may be asking, does one lap on one track in Germany really prove anything? And the answer is yes, it does, but also no. But for right now, sure. The history of the Nürburgring is extensive. It's existed in some capacity for 98 years. There's several tracks at the facility nowadays, but the one manufacturers care about the most, and the one you probably know best from racing games your whole life, is the Nordschleife, or North Loop in German. You can skip your Duolingo for the day. You're welcome. At 12.9 miles, it's one of the longest racetracks in the world, and it's considered the ultimate proving ground because it tests cars in just about every way possible. The North Loop is incredibly narrow and consists of 73 turns of a huge variety. It also boasts over 1,000 feet in elevation change, super long straights, and even a few chances to get airborne. Braking, acceleration, low, mid, and high-speed corners, top speed tests, grip, you can test it all at the Nordschleife in a single lap. For decades, sports car manufacturers have used the ring as a benchmark. I'm talking NSXs, Lamborghinis, and every other car your dad tried to buy after your mom left his ass.
Nice.
But American car companies have never been particularly competitive there or even interested until now. When the GTD team landed in Germany in August of 2024, expectations were very high, despite Ford's very limited road car experience at the Nürburgring. But in spite of the inexperience, high temperatures, and damp weather, Ford driver Dirk Muller was able to squeeze out a 6-minute and 57.685 second lap out of the Mustang GTD, making it the first American road car to break the incredible 7-minute barrier. More importantly, they achieved their goal of becoming the fastest American road car to ever lap the circuit. And everyone was kind of disappointed, actually. The result itself was worth celebrating, but the team and the media alike, including some little podcast over there on Donut Media, had expected more from America's supposed new Halo car.
For this price, I'd expect a much faster time than only 5 seconds faster than the Viper. Woo!
The thing was supposed to go toe-to-toe with the Porsche 911 GT3 RS and the Lamborghini Huracan and Aventador. It was supposed to put good old-fashioned American ketchup on all that nice bronze-drawn European pasta, you know, the expensive stuff, but it didn't quite surpass those legendary nameplates. So Ford went back to the ring in May of this year to change that. With better weather, a stiffened chassis, and some refined aero, Dirk Muller shaved off a massive 5.5 seconds from the GTD's official time, clocking in at 6 minutes and 52.072 seconds. They crushed the Huracan Performante, edged out the radical SR8, and came within a hair's breadth of the Porsche GT2 RS. There's this one problem lurking in the corner. It's called Corvette. Actually, Ford had 2 problems, because Chevy had been hard at work designing 2 new Corvettes with the same goals. And now, the GTD was in their way. This generation Corvette, the C8, was one of the first American cars to really challenge the European sports cars when they went with a mid-engine layout. And these 2 new cars would take the C8 platform to the extreme. Let's run through some specs real quick, shall we? First up, we have the baby of the pair, the ZR1. Its twin-turbo 5.5-liter LT7 V8 makes 1,064 horsepower and can rev to 8,000 RPM. 0 to 60 comes in just over 2 seconds. It has a top speed of 233 miles per hour. That's a big baby. Then there's the even more insane ZR1X. It has the same engine as the ZR1, but borrows the electric power components from the hybrid E-Ray to get power down through the front tires as well. The addition of this electric motor boosts horsepower to 1,250 and 0 to 60 drops below 2 seconds. Good gravy, son. Together, they're the first and second fastest Corvettes ever made, folks. And in late July this year, Chevy flew both these ultra-fast Corvettes to Germany. Probably coach. They went to set their own lap times and show Ford how it's done. This is kind of personal for Chevy. Unlike Ford, Chevy is no stranger to the Nürburgring. But for Chevy, it would be hard to call it experience for them. The green hell has been more of a personal hell. Several generations of Corvette have attempted to set times at the track, but most have ended somewhere between bad luck and embarrassment. The C8 Z06's run was interrupted by 2 separate crashes by other manufacturers who were setting their own times. In other years, Chevy has fallen victim to other crashes, mechanical failures, and bad weather. And their trip in August was as much a battle against past demons as it was dethroning the GTD and beating the Europeans at their own right and left turns game. And Chevy did it all.
The less powerful Corvette ZR1 lapped the Nürburgring Nordschleife in 6 minutes and 50.763 seconds.
Single-handedly defeating the Mustang and 911 GT2 RS. Damn. And cleared the way for the ZR1X to add insult to injury. That's petty. I love it. The ZR1X then set a time of 6 minutes and 49.275 seconds. 1.5 seconds might not sound like a lot, but in this echelon of cars, where tenths of seconds can cost millions of dollars in development, thousands of man-hours, and hundreds of horsepower, it's an eternity.
That extra 1.5 seconds was enough for Chevy to become the 5th fastest production car to ever lap the circuit.
And the craziest part is, Chevy did it with their own in-house development drivers, as in the dudes who engineered and helped build the car were the ones driving it. That's pretty cool. Immediately after Chevy's announcement on social media, Ford CEO Jim Farley congratulated the team before commenting, "Game on." So this war isn't over yet, and Ford has their own work cut out for them. If Chevy needed 2 more driven wheels and 200 extra horsepower to gain just 1.5 seconds, the GTD is going to need a significant overhaul. Which brings us to maybe the most interesting thing about this rivalry. It's the first time the Mustang and the Corvette have ever really been competitive with each other. The Mustang is a pony car. It's meant to be sporty but affordable for the everyman, while the Corvette is a full-blown sports car. But with the end of the Camaro last year, RIP, and the Mustang being the only car in Ford's lineup, the Mustang and the Corvette are the flagship cars of both brands. The world of performance cars is shrinking rapidly. They're not rivals because of their similarities, they're rivals because they're the last of a dying breed. It's depressing. Ford definitely has their work cut out for them. They're punching up at a Corvette that's much more sophisticated than vets of the past. And if Chevy decides to go back with race car drivers behind the wheel, who knows what might happen. All I can say for now is that with the weight of each brand behind both the GTD and the Corvette, the sky is the limit. So is a record lap time at the Nürburgring really that important big picture wise? No. Does it make a meaningful difference in our lives whatsoever? No. Is it a swinging contest between manufacturers so your stepdad can feel like he made the right purchase? Yeah.
Yes.
But consider this, you and I might not be able to afford these cars. We may never even see them in real life, but I think there's a huge point of pride in American performance here. American cars have long been the butt of a joke in the high performance world. Fast in a straight line, but with nothing else to offer besides big ass cup holders. But these 3 cars are changing that narrative. And if Ford and Chevy keep throwing punches at each other, American car makers might just push each other hard enough to take over the global leaderboard. Frankly, I think another leaderboard they should be working pretty hard on is affordable, reliable cars for here at home. But hey, I'm just some guy. Speaking of American manufacturers, check out the big trip. We bought 3 sub $3,000 American badge cars. We ended up with a Ford, Dodge, and Chevy. Did not mean to do that, but we did anyway. This has been a lot of fun. We've been going across the country, sampling all that American motorsport has to offer with some pretty junk cars. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you guys like it. Check it out. And we'll see you next time. Drive safe, okay?
What's up, guys? We wanted to let you know that we are relaunching the Donut Media website with all new merch, new colors, new logo styles. Look at this giant wrench. Look at this giant dog. So make sure you go check it out. All new donut stuff coming to you right now.